trust is really important for me. Most of our marketing is all about building trust with people, because if people don't trust you when they join your program, they will question everything, they'll doubt everything, they're difficult to work with, and it's very difficult to get that person success. So,
but Alex, yeah, I've sort of seen your stuff. I see how you sort of teach people how to start their own consulting business. How long have you been doing that?
So we started that last March, so getting on for 2.5 years now. In 2020, that is. So wow. Yeah, March 2020.
And what were you doing prior?
So I had another coaching business before that, helping photographers, but the pandemic really killed that business dead, because photographers were really hard hit by the pandemic, and the lead flow just died overnight, and I had to pivot very quickly. So we put together Sell What You Know in the space of just a week, and had an amazing first month, and it's been fantastic ever since. And
did you instantly go straight to cold traffic Facebook ads when you did that initial launch, or
how did you do YouTube ads? Yeah, YouTube ads.
Wow. And were you using YouTube ads for your photography consulting, or was this first time?
Oh, no, I've been a marketer for a long, long time. So since 2006, I started digital marketing. So yeah, we ran a combination. Actually, it was a bit of Facebook in the early days. Thinking about it, we did have a month or two on Facebook in the beginning. So yeah, we ran quite a lot of traffic to really get it going very quickly.
How long were you doing the photography consulting prior?
Probably about 3.5 years before that.
Oh, wow. And then you said you've been doing marketing since 2006. Tell me about that. Has it always been sort of doing sort of coaching, info products, or what was your marketing journey like?
Yeah, so I've always been very technical. So my first career, I used to develop computer games. So I did that for 10 years. Then I quite randomly, I suppose, became a pub manager. I'd always fancied being a pub manager. So when I got bored of making computer games, I went and ran pubs for Wetherspoons here in the UK, which is, if you're in the UK, is a well-known brand. Did that for a few years. That was pretty interesting. One of the biggest pubs in Europe. It was, a real mega pub, as they call it. And you learn a lot about yourself and humanity doing a job like that. And then I had been a photographer as a hobby for all the way through that, really, through my computer game career. And I decided to have a go at being a professional photographer. And this was, around 2006. And this is when Facebook was just really starting to, really get on its feet, when it was really starting to go mainstream. And I built my photography business using Facebook, which at the time was not really a platform that most people were using, but because of the nature of Facebook and photography and images, I was able to build and grow that business very, very quickly into the biggest photography business in my city at the time in just 18 months. So I got a real taste for digital marketing quite early on in the overall journey. And I did that for a few years, and that then led into me working in the zoo industry. So working in zoos, conservation, and I carried on doing marketing, using digital marketing throughout that time. I used to speak at events, because we, again, like zoos, weren't really using digital marketing at that time. And I was, getting some really good results, selling a lot of tickets, that kind of thing. And I remember I spoke at the World Zoo Association marketing conference about social media marketing, and the one of the directors of one of the biggest zoos in the UK came up to me and said, "Oh, Alex, love you talk about social media, but you can't really make any money doing that, surely. I mean, it's good for awareness, but you can't really make any money." And you think how crazy that sounds as a statement now. And I realized at that time that if even one of the biggest zoos didn't know how to do this and weren't doing it very well, then probably most zoos didn't know. So that's when I decided to transition from the zoo I was working at to building an agency to help as many zoos, aquariums, theme parks as possible. So I built an agency helping the leisure industry with their marketing, digital marketing. And yeah, did that for a few years, which eventually led to me moving into the make money online space. I started with affiliate marketing. So using my marketing skills to sell affiliate products, which went really well very quickly, which is great. And that naturally led into me wanting to create my own products. So I was selling coaching products and affiliate, and then the natural next step was to create my own coaching product to launch to the market. And yeah, again, that went really well. And it was only the pandemic that really changed that. But then, yeah, back March 2020, everything changed in the world, as we know. And at that time, there was a real panic. Lots of people worried about their job prospects, their futures. And I'd been thinking about setting up Sell What You Know for a few months before that, because I'd been helping friends and family and people like that to set up their own coaching businesses. And so it was a natural step for me. It was just kind of accelerated the process of setting that up. And I just kind of felt a duty of care to try and help people to create another income stream for themselves when their jobs were being lost and everyone was really worrying about what was happening in the world. And I really wanted to build something that was very focused on client success, because I'd invested in lots of programs, for years at that point. And I was always very shocked at how bad the industry was, how badly you'd be treated by certain offers, and no one really was anywhere near as focused on your success as I felt they should be. It was very much well, here's the information, it's up to you now. You go and make something of it, which I do agree with to a point. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe in mollycoddling people, but it certainly felt like there wasn't enough emphasis, there wasn't enough help and support, and really giving people what they need to succeed, which I think is much more than just teaching people how to build a funnel. It's about building people up to become successful. So I think that's what's quite different about what we do at Sell What You Know, is that we teach you the methods, we show you how to build a really well-optimized funnel and great ads and a great offer and great sales process and all that stuff. But that's only half of what we do. The other half is building people's confidence on camera, helping them to understand how all of this stuff fits together, and really developing people as new entrepreneurs so that they can actually succeed with what they've built, rather than not really push hard with it and make it work.
That's super cool. It's cool how you've been able to sort of always catch the trends sort of early and sort of pivot. Like you did the agency with the zoos, then you jumped into affiliate marketing, then you went into consulting, and you had a photography sort of course, and you had like a consulting sort of what you do now. So you've always been ahead of the curve. What's your current thoughts on the half-life of this sort of make money online space? Is it sort of getting exhausted? Are people sick of seeing these ads? Do you think we still have a few more years? What's your thoughts on the space overall?
I think we've got a lot longer than just a few years. I think it's only just beginning in many ways, but now it's starting to mature, and now the cowboys are being swept out, and the people that really do a good job for their clients are succeeding. Everything is so dependent on reviews, online reviews, reputation, testimonials, that kind of thing. That, it's the companies that genuinely do a good job for their clients that will still do very well for a long time, and the ones that don't treat their clients very well will fail. So the market's wising up to people just putting a choice selection of testimonials on their websites, and now doing their research and hunting around the internet, looking at websites like Trustpilot, for example, where you can't really control that. You can't control that at all, in fact. So that's just the brutal truth. And Trustpilot, you have to prove your purchase. So you know that every review on Trustpilot of a company is a genuine one, and it's right there for everyone to see. So I think the market will shift more to that, where the buyers will be a bit more savvy and won't just take testimonials on a website at face value, good as they may be. They will also check review sites and do a bit more due diligence to make sure that the people they're working with are worth investing in. And also, like I say, the companies that actually give their all and make sure their clients succeed, because we actually guarantee success, which I don't think many people do. We guarantee a return on investment in our program, and we also guarantee we'll keep working with you until you're making 10K, however long that takes. So I'm not aware of anyone who sticks their flag in the sand and makes that kind of commitment to their client's success. Most people are just kind of, you've got 10 weeks in the program, better make the most of it kind of thing. Now, obviously, there are conditions to that. We have to make sure that people are taking action and following our advice. But as long as they do that, then if you work with us, I guarantee it will work. I guarantee you'll get that success come hell or high water.
That's super cool. And what's your best advice on how consultants can succeed in a mature market? Like, we see CPMs are getting more expensive. Facebook ads keeps banning your ad accounts. Shop rates are decreasing. People are skipping VSLs and skipping webinars, and they're not watching the sort of core videos. Close rates are decreasing because people want to go around and shop around, and they don't easily fall for the one call close. What's your advice for people feeling this?
Yeah, again, I think the market's matured and people aren't gullible anymore. So you can't get away anymore with providing weak content or poor quality ads or low value, low ticket products or anything like that. You really do have to, massively over deliver for every single person that comes through your door. So if you're say running a webinar funnel, then you really need to make sure that there is actually some good stuff in that webinar that is really worth their time. And also don't make it so long, people aren't up for watching 2-hour webinars anymore. Just give them the goods in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that, so that it's a good use of their time. You're respecting their time and also making them very authentic and genuine. Not trying to fake it till you make it, just be really upfront, honest and authentic and give people a lot of value. I think low ticket funnels, so transitioning over to funnels that deliver results on the same day to cover that ad spend, makes a huge difference in reducing those increasing costs and enables you to scale much more quickly. But again, you've got to really over deliver with those low ticket products. They can't just be rubbish products. It's got to be something really, really good, and give them a lot of it for a very small amount, and people will really still get excited about that. Certainly, at least that's what we've seen.
With all the different funnels, from VSLs to automated webinars to giving away a low ticket item or even a free PDF or free ebook, what do you recommend to people who are just getting started? What would sort of probably work the best in the current space, and how do you get the audience to actually consume that? That's the difficult part. Yeah,
so it all starts with the advert. So the advert really has to provide value and really engage people, and we certainly push our students to create adverts that are quite a high standard, that really do connect with people, that aren't waffling, that look good, sound good, well lit, come across an authentic way, fun, interesting, that kind of thing. Testing lots of different hooks to find a message that resonates with the market that they're working towards. And I think we spend a lot of time with our clients optimizing their campaigns. So helping people to figure out like where the really good audiences are and connecting those dots up, which doesn't just happen overnight. So I think that's where 99% of people will just get put off, is that they will run an ad for a week, not get any traction and quit. And I always say to my students, this is probably going to be a month before we get everything really dialed in and optimized and working well. And we need to strap in for that and understand it's a bit like panning for gold. We start with a massive bowl of mud and there's a tiny little nugget in there somewhere, and we've got to keep panning and keep going until we find it. So there's a lot of factors in there: the advert itself, the targeting, the campaign setup, everything, landing page headlines. So really having a very strong work ethic to work through all those challenges and really dial everything in to the nth degree, so that we do have something that is profitable and does work and does generate clients, rather than something that is where people are banging their head against the wall. But that process works really well. We've got loads and loads of beginners who never run ads before in their life and never built a funnel before in their life. And it's still very quick and in many cases quite easy to go and get high ticket clients very, very quickly using that process. We're doing that every day. So it does still work, but there is, a bigger game to play. It is a tough market, and you do need to get your head in the game and understand that it won't just happen instantly, that you need to spend probably a month before you're really cooking on gas. So yeah, I'd say that's really important for people to understand. And that carries on all the way through the journey that you take people through.
And once people crack the marketing, the next thing they're going to have to crack is the sales part, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, just being really upfront and authentic and never selling people. The biggest trouble you can get in at Sell What You Know, my team, is like selling someone, because that just causes us problems further down the line. That person is full of buyer remorse or regret, or they just don't feel that they've made the right decision. So we just never do that. We always make sure that the people we're working with are really keen and excited to join the program, and we've helped them to make the right decision for them. That's all we ever should do with sales, is just help people to make the right choices so that they choose what's a good fit, a good place for them to be, so that the trust is always there. The trust is really important for me. Most of our marketing is all about building trust with people, because if people don't trust you when they join your program, they'll question everything, they'll doubt everything, they're difficult to work with, and it's very difficult to get that person success. So if you break that trust in the sales process, you just create a problem for yourself that just isn't worth having.
What's your thoughts, like how much % of your clients do you think join through like a one call close versus follow-up? Are the days of one call closes over? Is it all about the follow-up game now? What's your thoughts on this balance?
It's a real mixture. So it very much depends on that person's journey up to that point. I think normally a one call close is happening just because perhaps someone's been following us that bit longer, or they've seen some stuff, or they're just super excited about what we do, or they just really like us. And yeah, we still get one call closes. We have plenty of people join our program who have just seen our advert that morning and, are joining in, jumping into the program. And yeah, a lot of those work out really well. I'd say most people nowadays are, 2 calls, sometimes 3. I think as well, the price of your program will affect that. So our program is quite a substantial investment. And so that is normally a substantial decision for people to make. So I think there's a big factor there. So if we were to go back to, just charging like $1,000 or something for a program, then I think we'd one call close every day, no problem for most people. But as you increase your price and it becomes a more serious commitment, then naturally people need to check with their partners and they have to really think about it if it's a direction they want to go in. And that's fine, that's normal.
What's your advice for getting people to show up for that second call, that third call, and not get that commitment and have them just ghost and not show up on that second call?
Well, I think if you do a good job of helping people to really understand the difference you can make to them and getting real with what happens if they take no action, and getting them really connected with what they really want out of life, then people will always tend to show up for that second call. We don't really have too much of an issue with that anymore. I know, we've certainly had phases where that was the case, where perhaps our messaging wasn't very strong or the offer wasn't that great. But I think since, we've now built up a really good reputation, lots of really good reviews and everything like that, then people are really, for the most part, the only reason people don't really work with us is just simply they cannot afford it. We run workshops every week now, and everyone who does those workshops wants to join the program, and it's really just everyone who can afford to does, which is really great to see. So I think that, it's hard for us to get around that problem, but we do try our best to help people with, raising the finance and finding a way to join the program, because I always believe if there's a will, there's a way, and we guarantee that investment. We guarantee you'll at least make that back. So I take all the risk for you. So if you can just find a way in your life to raise that, to show that commitment to the program, then we'll help make sure you get all the way and get that investment back, and then some many times over.
Tell me about those weekly workshops that you do.
Yeah, so we do a workshop, starts on a Thursday, and it's Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday. And it's an offer building workshop. So we found that one of the biggest reasons previously that people wouldn't join the program is they just weren't sure about what they could offer as an online coach. And so I know that's really just a process to get people to discover their hidden superpower based on all their knowledge and experience, and to structure that offer. And we take people through that first part of the process in a bit more of a cut down way than we do in the full-blown mentorship program, but still really good. And we give them feedback on their offer, and we help them to really tune it and refine it. And by the end of that workshop, people are having their hands an offer worth, we aim for at least £3,000, so they could sell that straight away. And many people do. They just sell it, in some cases, the same day they've sold their offer. So it's a really high value workshop where people really do come out of it with a great high ticket offer they can sell straight away. And then naturally the next step is to join the mentorship program to continue the journey, or some people take that offer and carry on their own, and that's fine too. So it works really well, and it's a great way for us to get to know the clients. Those people, when they join the mentorship program, they're all rock stars. They really fly into things and really do really well. And also it's just great for trust building. They get to know us. They can build that relationship with us and know that we are who we say we are and genuine. So I think that model and that kind of direction is also, I think, where the industry is going to go, where you do have to do a bit more work up front to build that trust with people and show that really high level of value, so that it really is a no-brainer for people to want to keep working with you. So yeah, that's going to certainly divide the market a bit, because that's a bit more of a commitment on our side, and is a bit more difficult to to fulfill successfully.
Interesting. And how do you set up these workshops? Are they live every Thursday to Fridays, like 2 hours a day? And are you running a lot of cold traffic ads, getting people to sign up for the workshop? Tell me about that.
Yep. So they're normally quite short sessions. So 30 minutes on Thursday and Friday, and then a bit longer, an hour on Monday and Tuesday. And we run them at alternate times. So it's either 12 p.m. UK time or 7 p.m., which tends to suit people all over and with jobs and things like that. And yeah, it works really well. We do it live. I do it myself. And I'm teaching them firsthand how to put an offer together. And we have some worksheets. I have some of my team give them feedback on those worksheets over the weekend. They've got a couple of days to work on it. We have some prizes to win if they, they do the work and do a good job and make an effort. And yeah, it works really, really well as a process. I really like it.
That's amazing. And what are like the ratios like? Let's say you run a bunch of ads, you're getting leads at say $5 to $10, you get 1,000 people sign up. How many people would shop live on day one?
It's quite a high amount. I'd say we're probably getting about a 30% show up rate live, something like that. Yeah. So our CPA is, I think it's about anywhere between 60 and 100 pounds. And then our AOV from the funnel is pretty similar. So it varies a lot day to day, but we're either, recouping the ad spend or maybe a bit less. And we're getting anywhere between 20 and 40 people a day signing up for the workshop. And then, each week. So you do the maths, it's anywhere between 140 and 300 signing up each week. And we're maybe getting 60, 70 show up live, and then another sort of 40 or so watch the replay, that kind of thing. That's pretty good numbers, yeah.
That's so freaking amazing. And what's your thoughts on the whole, I think the current popular model is like VSL to sales call and have like a sales team. Does this model still require a sales team? What's your thoughts on that? The current model, is it getting exhausted? Do people no longer want to talk to salespeople and want to do a live workshop directly with the founder? What's your experience?
So again, we really go all in over delivering on the value. So we still have an advisor team, and when they buy their workshop ticket, they get their own coach assigned to them, and their coach will help to make sure they're all set up. They know what they need to do. They will be the ones giving them feedback on their offer and just really helping them through that journey. And then if they are interested in joining the mentorship program, helping them to just join or figure out how to join, figure out how to raise the money, or help them with the payment plan, maybe in some cases, things like that. So it's just very value-led journey, and the advisors are never pitching or hard selling people. They're just, just helping them, giving them as much value as possible to just create a good impression in us.
What's your advice on growing like the best advisor team? Like I know a lot of people in the space hire a lot of commission-only salespeople. I've seen people like say Grant Cardone or Samuels hire full-time salespeople, which isn't as common. What's your advice on building the best sales team?
It takes time. Salespeople are like sharks. They need to be fed all the time. So you need to have a really good quality lead flow in place, and a really great offer that they can sell consistently and make a good return. So that's the main thing they care about. You could, go on about how you've got to do X, Y, and Z, but really at the end of the day, that's what matters. Like if you've got a good offer, good lead flow, keeps them happy, keeps them busy, and it works well. And because the workshop does a lot of the heavy lifting and gets people over the line and makes them want to join, I think for my team, it works really well because they're not wasting a lot of time on people that are just time wasters and things like that. Every single person they speak to has already made a purchase with us, is already clearly quite serious. and the workshop does a really good job of building that rapport and trust and confidence in what they have to offer. And they just have to make sure they, nurture those people through that journey, and everyone wins in that situation. The clients get loads of help and support, and it's a nice journey for them. And the advisors win because we've got a great product and a great process for bringing people into the program.
And what's your thoughts on commission-only salespeople versus hiring someone full-time with a base rate plus a bit of commission?
So I've done a bit of both. We're 100% commission only these days. We have had setters on like payroll and things like that. And I prefer the commission only because it's, just removes any doubt in your head about how much effort they're putting in and that kind of thing. You really do want to link their performance to your own income. But when you're doing commission only, you really do have to have a good consistent lead flow, because otherwise they will just vanish very quickly. Certainly had times when that's been the case, and you lose some good people, but you have to then go back and find more when the lead flow picks back up and that kind of thing. My team's really good. They understand the ebbs and flows of what we do. They know that when every business has dry spells and quieter times. We've been through one recently as we've repositioned to this new workshop process and everything like that. But they trust me, they believe in me, they know that what we're doing is really, really good. So yeah, they they have the patience to stick with it.
What's your advice? Like, how do you always stay on top of things? Like, how are you what's your advice on constantly coming up with new, innovative funnels, processes? Because everything sort of has a half-life, everyone else copies in the space, and all of a sudden you're no longer profitable. You have to do something new, and the new thing may or may not work. And then you're like, man, it's back to the drawing board. How do you keep up with that and stay motivated? What's your advice there?
Well, you should always be innovating. We're never standing still. We're always testing new things all the time. We never stop. We're always, it's just an evolutionary process for us. So I think you should always be doing that. There's always an improvement to be made. Sometimes that can send you backwards. Sometimes, you'll try something and think, actually, that was worse. And yeah, I think if you're always doing that, then you're always going to be succeeding. I don't tend to worry about what everyone else is doing in the market very much, because what they're doing may not necessarily help or affect you to a great extent. But with all that said, certainly we are paying attention. If there's big things, so friends, might say to me, hey, have you tried this? We should do this, and I'll explore it. So yeah, I don't know, like always be testing, always be innovating, always be moving forwards, always get lots of input, always be listening to your team, listening to your clients, paying attention when things drop off a cliff. Don't sort of keep beating something that's not working anymore. Always have options. Don't just have all your eggs in one basket. Be running a few different things at the same time if you can. Push hard with organic as well as paid. Make sure you're running on multiple platforms, not just one. And that tends to build quite a solid, safe foundation.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, how do you stay calm when things stop working? Because when a funnel stops working, leads don't come in, now your salespeople are worried, and you want to keep them sort of encouraged. So now you might start beating this dead horse, but it's not working. Now you have to build something new. How do you stay calm amidst all that?
Well, it's always just, it's never kind of like a all or nothing. One day it's working, next day nothing's working. You shouldn't be in that situation, really. So it's more a case of making sure that you're, like I said before, covering lots of different bases, moving forwards on different things at the same time. Normally, if something significant breaks a lot of what's happening, you should know what happened and should know what to do to move back to what was working, or already have other things on the up and up, new campaigns, new funnels, new platforms, new ads, that kind of thing. Certainly one of the biggest things to keep on top of is ad fatigue. So if we're seeing drop-offs, it's normally because of that, because people are just so fed up of one advert they keep seeing over and over and over again. Or perhaps a significant event triggers things, like Black Friday can have a big impact that can dent things. I think it's important to be consistent with all the more mundane things like emailing your list every day and doing organic posts and all that kind of stuff to keep things moving forward.
How often are you guys testing new creatives? Like, are you guys testing new creatives every single day and finding like a winning creative, maybe one in every 50? Is that sort of how the process works?
Depends really. So I tend to go in phases. Our main platform's YouTube, so I'll go in phases every month or two of blitzing lots of different ads and testing new things to try and improve that. TikTok, you have to be testing lots more creative. So I guess, almost daily we are creating new stuff for that platform, new ads, new organic posts to see what gets traction. So that I think as well is going to change the game for a lot of people. That level of content creation for TikTok is going to be a big divider, I think.
Interesting. With all your experience and how you've always been ahead of the curve, Alex, where do you think the marketing gap is now? Is it like TikTok ads? Is it YouTube ads? Where's the gap at the moment?
Certainly TikTok ads is very up and coming. The costs there are much lower than a lot of the other platforms. Much tougher with compliance though. So they are very allergic to the make money online space, and they're it's a bit like Facebook used to be. Do you remember when you couldn't put an ad on Facebook without getting shut down or anything like that? I think Facebook's calmed down a lot more recently, and you can certainly do a lot more. You can even have text on your ads and all sorts of stuff these days. And they've been unblocking a lot of shut down accounts, and it's a lot more forgiving. Whereas TikTok is like Facebook was 5-6 years ago, where it's just brutal and ruthless, and they will just close you down and that kind of thing. So you have to be really, really, really careful there. So make sure you do your homework and really get your head around their compliance before you even launch anything on TikTok, because you can really come a cropper there.
Beautiful. Any final tips for people? I guess they have something they want to sell, that they've been trying to sort of crack cold traffic. I think that's the thing most people are struggling with. What's your biggest advice on people trying to figure out cold traffic? They have a YouTube channel that they create content, they get clients organically, it's not consistent at all, and they want to crack cold traffic. What's your biggest advice there, Alex?
I'd say get some help from someone who really knows what they're doing with cold traffic. If you're new to it, don't try and do that on your own, because it's super expensive. You can lose so much money. There's so many things you need to be aware of, and there's a lot to learn. You need someone to learn about how numbers balance together, what a good click-through rate is, good cost per lead, how to get those, how to optimize for those, how to run different campaigns to test things. So yeah, I'd always say don't do that on your own. Get some expert help. With my clients, I insist that they check in with me at least once a week when they're running ads for quite a long time, because otherwise things can run away and their lead costs can all of a sudden rocket up and that kind of thing. And always teaching them like, right, you should have switched that off because can you see why this is increased and this is now costing a lot and it's absorbing all your budget and why we're not getting any results again. And so there's a lot to wrap your head around. And that's, yeah, in addition to like what I was saying earlier about having really good ads to go out on cold traffic with, really aiming for that high standard with your ad that really does do a good job of building that trust and rapport with people, and understanding that you need to strap in for the long term. It's not going to happen overnight, at least a month. And you're going to need to do a lot of work with new creatives and testing lots of different things before you find that really good spot where it's working well.
That's amazing. Alex, where can people find more about your program, Sell What You Know, and follow you on your journey and sort of hear more from you? Where's the best place for people to reach out?
Well, I'd say come and join us on one of the workshops. So if that sounds good, it's only £6 to do that. It's a really good deal. You get 6 of our best courses, workshop ticket, your own coach, feedback, live training with me, and I make it fun, which is important. And if you're interested in doing that, you can go to swyk.uk/4 and sign up there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time today, Alex. I just love you're super technical. You're able to sort of strike down all the different technical questions I had, and we bounced from talking about funnels to sales, people building a team, and you're able to answer all the questions. So I definitely see the wealth of knowledge and experience you have. You've definitely been in the marketing space for the last, nearly 20 years. And I really appreciate your time today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. So this is another episode of the podcast. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode. Peace.